Hello, I'm host one over the Sky Meets the Sea, and today we're taking a deep dive into a maritime disaster that unfolded in the quiet hours of 1921, one that still fascinates shipwreck researchers a century later.
And I'm Nellie, host 2. Our story follows the SS Governor, a proud steel passenger ship that had served the West Coast for over a decade before meeting her fate near Port Townsend, Washington.
Two ships in the darkness, a misread signal, a collision that changed everything. Let's take it back a little.
Before we get into the accident, what kind of ship was the Governor? Built in 1907, she stretched nearly 450 feet. She was considered one of the most elegant liners working at the Pacific coast. It had 2 funnels and carried up to 566 passengers.
Her cabins were fitted with electrical lighting, cutting edge at the time. Her dining salons were finished with dark wood, brass fixtures, and polished glass. Passengers often described her as comfortable without being extravagant.
The Governor carried both wealthy travelers and everyday passengers, moving between Vancouver, Seattle, and San Francisco. She also transported gold shipments and valuable cargo.
By 1921, she was a familiar sight in the Pacific Northwest. No one boarding her on March 31st imagined it would be her final voyage.
Darkness pressed thick over Puget Sound. It was a calm night, smooth water, light wind, but visibility was poor. Fog drifted in thin patches across the strait.
Ships relied on lookout crews and signal lights. Radar didn't exist. A ship's crew had to trust their eyes and instincts.
The Governor streamed southward at a steady pace. Passengers slept or sat in lounges reading or playing cards.
Meanwhile, the Canadian Pacific steamer Princess Victoria was traveling north. Smaller but quick, she served the British Columbia coast reliably.
Ships knew they were stopping nearby. They exchanged lights, but neither fully understood the other's course or intentions.
Witnesses later called it, quote, 2 shadows sliding toward each other, end quote. Slow enough to look harmless, fast enough to set up disaster.
Lookouts on the Governor spotted the Princess Victoria closing in from the starboard side.
By the time either captain realized the threat, maneuvering options had vanished. Both tried to turn, but it was too late.
About 1 a.m., the Princess Victoria's bow crashed into the Governor, ripping open a deep gash in her hull. Steel bent inward. Water flooded instantly.
Passengers were jolted awake. Some thought a boiler had exploded. Crew rushed through the hallway shouting for everyone to get on life jackets.
The Princess Victoria stayed pressed against the Governor, her own hull plugging the massive tear temporarily. Those minutes saved lives.
The evacuation was chaotic. Some lifeboats swung too far out. Others dropped unevenly. A few passengers panicked and jumped into the water.
But many held steady. Crew carried children, guided families, and kept shouting instructions.
Deep inside the ship, water filled the boiler rooms. Lights flickered, but stayed on long enough to guide passengers upward.
When the Princess Victoria finally had to pull away, the Governor began sinking fast. Her stern lifted slightly as her bow dove.
Survivors described a strange silence between the shouts. The ship groaned as compartments filled.
Some clung to the floating wreckage. Others were hauled into rescue boats. A few swam for the glow of the Princess Victoria.
Within minutes, the Governor swept below the surface and vanished.
8 lives were lost. Investigators expected worse, given the violence of the collision.
Investigation centered on signals. Each captain insisted the other had misread the course change.
The final conclusion pointed to poor visibility and miscommunication.
Because the wreck lay deep, divers of the era couldn't reach it. For decades, the Governor's fate rested in stories.
In the 1980s, Charter finally located her. She lies upright in over 200 feet of water, bow crushed, but much of her structure intact.
Divers described eerie corridors, cups, cabins, and decks coated in silt.
The wreck is now protected, a memorial to both loss and survival.
The wreck later became the focus of marine archaeology groups. Teams mapped the site, documenting how the collision forces shaped the damage.
Artifacts were spotted but left undisturbed. The cold, deep water preserved much of the ship's structure.
Historians pieced together passenger accounts, reconstructing a minute-by-minute timeline of confusion, bravery, and fast decision-making.
Local maritime museums now include the Governor and exhibits about Puget Sound's shipping history.
2 ships, 1 dark night, and a mistake that echoed through maritime safety rules in the region.
The Governor's story is about choices, limitations, and the unforgiving nature of the sea. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you soon on Where the Sky Meets the Sea.
Rest in peace to all 8 victims of the SS Governor.